Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing. This is part 2 of our mixed media paper using the Spackle medium. So I do apologize in advance. I lost all the audio for the second half of the original video. I think I muted my volume, and so when I was recording I had no sound when I went back to the file for the second part, so I do apologize. So here, let me just see if I can tell you what I was talking about here. So in this sample, kind of a happy accident, I had was testing out that spackle and I dipped it in the paint that was left over on my mat. We're going to be a little bit more strategic here today, and we're going to actually be wetting each of those pieces of paper, and we will be dropping the paint onto the paper in various ways. So again, I do apologize for the loss of audio. It was a phenomenal video, but at least I have the actual video, just missing the audio. So here I'm talking about the different kinds of paint I'm using. So there is golden fluid acrylic or golden high flow acrylic, two kinds. One is transparent and the other is just a high flow. So here I'm just showing you that the dioxazine purple and the Hansa yellow medium are very, very transparent. So we'll be doing a little bit with some transparent high flow acrylics, some golden fluid acrylics. I did go ahead and cut each of those papers in half that we did in the previous video because I thought they'd be easier to work with. So I'm really glad that I did that. It made it so that we could play with a lot more colors than we would have been able to with only 6 pages. So now we have 12 half sheets. So I did move that container over so that I can tap into those, and then discovered it was really going to be in my way. So I'm going to just talk here a little bit about some of the paints. I believe maybe I'm not talking about paints anymore. So I feel so terrible about losing that audio. Here I was just kind of observing some of that messy spackle that we got, as well as the cool effect that we got when we did stenciling over stenciling, texture over texture. I love that effect, and in the final results, it's absolutely phenomenal. So I hope that you'll enjoy watching. I will set parts of this to music just because I'm not going to be able to fill up all this space with my words, even though I have many words. I absolutely loved this leaf stencil. It was just a cheapie from Amazon. It was in a large pack of stencils, but it's absolutely beautiful, really crisp image. So that's the bottom half of that page, and that I was just pointing to where that got a little bit messy, and then another one where we overlaid texture on texture. So I'm going to let you watch this for a few minutes here. So we're going to go in with our first paint. Unfortunately, I'm only going to see what we're doing as we do it because it's not present time. So I believe that's the cobalt turquoise and raw umber fluid acrylic. And we're going to go ahead and start with our first piece of paper. And I'm just putting a little bit out on my mat to start with, and then I will be spraying each of these papers as we get to work with them with a water bottle. I want them very, very saturated so that the acrylic will move regardless of which acrylic we're grabbing. So yeah, just spritzing the paint with water as well as the page. I think I'm going to bring in my large bottle here. A little bit of a high-powered spray there. This helped to break down the paper. The acrylic ink, the acrylic paint and the water helped to break down the paper. So hopefully it's not going to be as heavy. So I'm just putting the cobalt turquoise down and just spreading it around with a really large kind of mop brush. And then I'll be coming in and adding some raw umber. So I think that what I'll do in the parts where I don't talk is I'll just put a text on the screen to tell you what supply I'm using so that you guys can understand what's happening. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the music on. I'm just going to hold this up for you here after I clean up that paint and let you see a close-up of this. This is really beautiful. I love cobalt turquoise and brown. So you probably saw I just was using that brush and kind of moving each of those colors around until I was satisfied with the result. So this one I'm not sure what color we're gonna use, so let's just see. We are gonna spritz this one as well, and hopefully I'll be able to name it. I don't think I ended up using this one. It's kind of a, oh, what's the word? It's kind of that minty green color, but I didn't end up going with that. I believe that this is sap green hue. Pretty sure. So I'm going to follow the same process. And then this is the Hansa Yellow medium as well. This is the transparent high flow acrylic paint. So in different parts of this process, I'm laying down the first two colors, and then I do often come in and bring in a more concentrated bit of one of the colors. So in this case, I believe that I'm going to be using the Hansa Yellow medium, the transparent, and just dropping that in. There you go. And to just kind of bring it back in some of that yellow. It's kind of hard to tell on screen from my view how vivid this is showing on camera. I guess I'll see when I watch the video too, but it's really, really bright. The final effect was absolutely gorgeous. So I already gave you a sneak peek of the finished pages at the end of the first video, so some of this is not going to be a surprise, but I wanted to draw you back in to what we're doing here and how much fun it is. So just holding that one up for you as well. Absolutely beautiful. I loved the combination of those numbers with the floral stencil. I think it was really unique. So I think here, this didn't go well, let me just tell you right now. I did spritz that with some water, and then I'm going to go in and take one of the non-preferred papers and try to sop some of that up. It didn't work well, so I'm just going to turn it over here in a second and just use it as I have been the other pages, and applying some water and then some paint directly to the surface. So let's see what color we're going to use here. I'm not exactly sure what I chose. I suppose I could be looking at them, but they're in the living room on a towel drying in real time. I am pre-recording, as I mentioned in an earlier video, because I am going out of town. So by the time you see some of these last videos, I will already be back. But so that was, I believe, sap green hue, and this is, I couldn't quite say the name, anthro something blue, I don't know. Looking at my paper, I didn't even write it out because it was so hard to say, but it's just a really vibrant, bright blue, a deep blue, really, really pretty. So just mixing that on this page with the Hansa Yellow Medium Transparent. Now the blue, I believe, was just a golden fluid acrylic. So and again, just adding more of that Hansa Yellow Medium to just bring back that really vibrant yellow, and just going to show you a close-up. Isn't that delicious? Part of that effect that you're seeing, you would not get the same effect if you were using a regular acrylic, whether you were using an artist acrylic or a craft acrylic, because they're very, very opaque, generally speaking. The products I'm using today, in terms of the high flows and some of the golden fluid acrylics, they're very transparent, and that's why we get those beautiful results, almost like everything's kind of shining through, like the colors shine through one another, which is just beautiful. So again, if you can swing picking up some golden fluid acrylics, at the very least, aim for the really transparent ones. You'll be able to get some of these results. I know that not everybody has the means to do that, so please use what you have. Just water down some of your regular acrylics. So this is the quinacridone red in a transparent high flow acrylic, and the Hansa Yellow Medium again. And I love how this one turned out. I kind of expected that I get a little bit of orange, but I don't really think I did. So I'm just using my finger to kind of move it. Some of the pigments, depending on the color, they don't move as well as other colors. Their formulation is the same in that they're a high flow acrylic, but the pigment can sometimes limit how much movement that pigment and that ink, or that paint can have. So that's why I'm kind of moving it around gently with my finger, just to get a little bit of a different effect. I believe that I'm going to call this one good. I'm holding it up, and I did not make any more changes to this one. It's absolutely gorgeous. A little bit out of my color range. I don't tend to use pinks and reds, but I thought it turned out really great. So we're going to move on to the next page after I do a quick cleanup here. These mats are from Ranger, and I have them. I've rebought them before because I use them so much, but they last a really long time and they wash up beautifully. So again, starting with a spritz of water, really heavy, application of water here, because that's going to help soften the paper as well as help all those beautiful colors to move around. So let's see what we're doing next. I had no idea that the audio wasn't working, you guys, so I'm so bummed. But at least I was able to split the video. I was unsure in video 1 in the first part if I would be able to split it, but so here I'm just getting my color wheel out and kind of evaluating what kind of colors I could mix. I think here I was thinking about mixing the quinacridone Nickel Azo Gold with green, but see how it's too far from they're too far from each other on the color wheel, so they would not tend to give a great result. So I believe this is the Nickel Azo Yellow. Not that one. That's the Hansa Yellow Medium. This is Nickel Azo Yellow in Golden Fluid Acrylic. And everything will be linked in the video description box. I don't individually link the Golden Fluid Acrylics. I believe that if you have the color, you can Google or look for them further in an Amazon search once you have the link that takes you to the Golden Fluid Acrylics or the High Flow Acrylics. So just spreading that around. I love this color. It's very, very bright. It's a little bit less sunny than the Hansa Yellow Medium that we were using, the transparent, but it's absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to let you just continue to watch. This is the sap green hue, and we're going to continue on. So I don't recall what I was fishing around here for until I actually saw it in the replay here, but I'm looking for another color to add. And so this is transparent. I believe it's transparent brown oxide, but again, I will let you know that in the just in the supply list. Pardon me. Hopefully I noted that one. Yeah, transparent brown oxide, I believe. Transparent brown iron oxide. So this is another beautiful color. It has more of a leaning towards burnt sienna color, so a lot more orange in it than brown, but it has its place. It's not one of my favorite colors, but it is absolutely beautiful as well. So we're going to just, again, continue to move those colors around on this page. This is one of my favorites. As I mentioned earlier, the leaf stenciling is absolutely gorgeous. I love that leaf stencil. It's very, very crisp and clear. So here I'm just going to hold this up for you to see a close-up. Just a little bit of that kind of brownish orange is just the right touch to make that look really botanical and beautiful. So this was a very, very messy process. So I haven't even washed my hands yet. It's been a few hours. I haven't got all of this paint off my hands. But again, I'm multitasking, trying to get things done here at home, get ready for the trip, and edit videos and things. So it's been interesting. So this, I believe, is the high transparent. Oh, am I going to use it? I don't know. Let's see. I don't recall. So this is our next page. I love this one. I love the roses with the text. It's absolutely beautiful. Just again saturating that with water, and that's again softening the paper, because this was coffee dyed paper on 65-pound paper. It's really crispy, as you probably noticed in the first video where I was trying to roll it and get it to flatten out, and it just wasn't really working out. So this is the transparent high flow acrylic in teal, and I love it. I'm kind of a toss-up between which is my favorite, the teal or the cobalt turquoise. This is a little bit lighter, not quite as vibrant, but beautiful all the same. So I do both. I've used the cobalt turquoise in some of these papers and the teal in others. And a lot of the, I think both of them I chose to do a brown partner to that. But in this case, that is the transparent brown oxide that I used a moment ago. So I'm going to let you continue to watch, and I will pipe in when I want to share a little bit more with you. So I did add some more teal to that, and I was just looking at the bottle there to see if it gave me any transparency information. This is high flow acrylic, it's not the transparent, so I was not able to locate how transparent it actually is. I should probably swatch them out on a piece of paper with a black Sharpie, and I would be able to test my own transparency. Maybe I'll do that in a video. But that's one of my favorites too. Oh my goodness. The roses and the text are just, be still my heart. I love them. And this is another fave. That stencil, the one that has the numbers and stuff, that's one of my favorites from Sean Petit, as I believe I mentioned in the first video. Really beautiful designs. It looks like I had switched that out for another one at this point. So surprise to me too. Thanks for bearing with me. This was an unexpected waylay to my process to have lost all that audio, because I was oohing and on and talking to you about the products and talking to you about how things were turning out and how the paints were interacting, and it's just really hard to kind of remanufacture that. So I do apologize if this is a little bit wonky. But that is the quinacridone red again. It's a very pinky red, so it's on the cool side of the color wheel and the paint spectrum. So I'm sorry I did not see what that one was. I think it is the brown oxide. It might also be, yeah, I believe that's the transparent brown oxide. A really transparent brown. Browns tend to be pretty opaque, but this formulation is very transparent, as you can see there. Now we are, by mixing the brown and the quinacridone red, we're going to get a muted down pink, but the final pictures, the final product of this one was absolutely outstanding. It gave a lot of tonal difference between the brighter quinacridone red roses there and some of them that got pushed back a little bit with the brown. So I hope that you'll be able to see that in the photos at the end. I took pictures of each individual page, but I also took pictures, as I usually do, of some of them kind of touching each other and overlapping each other to give a really beautiful pop of color for my photos for the video. So this one was also just absolutely perfect. I wouldn't have changed a thing. Now when I go to use these, I might add some subtle wax to the surfaces to highlight them, or maybe some gold, iridescent gold fine. But look at that. Oh my goodness. That's how I was feeling when it was happening. This was such a joyful process for me. I've been in a little bit of a funk, and I have been struggling with being inspired, and I do apologize for this this no action there. It's hard for me to remember what was happening, but I don't have the time to continue to edit and re-edit, so we're just going to go with it and embrace the imperfection, not only in the video but also in my editing and recording process. So I hope that you'll be gracious there. So anyway, I'm going to be using a lot of this for kind of collage fodder and things like that. And so I might add some gold, iridescent gold fine or silver or something more to the texture when I go to use it, but that can be done on a one-off basis. So again, giving that a good saturation. I love this piece so much. This is the one I thought we were going to work with a minute ago, but changed my mind. So I am not at all sure what I end up pulling for this one. The color wheel again. So I'm looking at purple and yellow, and I think here I was talking about how purple and yellow are complementary. So when you use purple and yellow in the same project, you can get really beautiful results. But if you mix them, you're going to get mud. So what I was pointing to there was that I can go in with some purple and some blue, and this was, oh my gosh, this was mind-blowing. So this is transparent dioxazine purple in the high flow acrylics. I do have a little bit of a clogged nozzle there, so I'm going to be fussing with that for a moment here, just kind of evaluating what was going on. There was a crusty bit on top because I'm not very good at cleaning those, but I was trying to be careful not to give it a good squeeze and have that explode all over my paper, which has been known to happen to me. So I did get that loosened up here in a second. Thought that was the moment, but clearly it was not. I don't like voiceovers because I can't talk in present tense when it's already past. So it's kind of a mental barrier for me. So just going in with the dioxazine purple there, and then I'm going to go ahead and turn the music on and let you watch. I will be coming in with, I believe it's phthalo blue green shade as the second color in this piece. At this point, looking back, this kind of looked like a hot mess, and it kind of felt like a hot mess because purple is not my color, but this one is like the most glowing of all of the papers. Like it just glows, like almost like you can see light through it. It's so beautiful. So I will find a way to use it, but purple is not my jam, but I wanted to do something that was outside of the box and outside of my comfort zone, because sometimes you can think that you don't like something until you try it, and then you're like, boom, I could really grow to love this. So I'm just going to hold this one up for you as well. Look at the vibrancy. That is the combination of that really transparent purple in addition to the phthalo colors are very, very vibrant, very saturated. And so that was a phthalo blue in green shade. It leaned toward green. A really, really beautiful color. So I think we are nearing the end of the video. I don't know if it ends quite the way that I anticipate because I'm talking here and I don't know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Check out the photos at the end, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.